Now we want to start out with our top story and the tributes now pouring in for Captain Jenn Casey. She died in the crash of the Snowbird's jet in Kamloops. She's being remembered as a bright and positive person. Joining us this morning is Tim Durkin, a friend of Captain Casey's. Thank you so much for being here. We're so sorry for your loss, but we'd love to know a little more about her. You knew Captain Casey from your time as journalists together in Quinte, Ontario. Can you tell us about what kind of person she was?
She was the best of us, and good morning. And it's a great chance to actually just talk about somebody that was such a bright light in so many people's lives. And in such a tough time, I know people are going to be mourning, but to think about the positive that Jenn was, she came here. Her partner at the time was stationed at Canadian Forces Base Trenton. And of course, she had the broadcasting background and stopped into the radio station and said, do you guys have any work? If you do, let me know. And of course, she was fantastic. She came on as an anchor and a reporter, and of course was awesome at what she did. And she was the most Canadian person I think I've ever met. She was a Montreal Canadiens fan. She was a huge fan of the tragedy of Hip. She actually got to go to the last show of the Hip in Kingston, and then she ended up becoming public affairs officer for the CFB Trenton, demo team for the CFB teams, and then of course Snowbird. So when you think of somebody that's a Canadian person,
Tim, Quinte is known as a very tight-knit place. Talk to me about the reaction locally when this tragic news reached your community.
It spread very fast, and of course, even though she was only living in Quinte West and the Quinte region for 5 years, because of the jobs that she held, Canadian Forces Base Trenton is the biggest employer in the area, and because of that, her time spent in the military, she got to meet a lot of people. And of course, the journalism broadcasting background, as you know, Ben, you get a chance to talk to so many people all the time. So people got to know her quite quickly. Jennifer Howell at the time, when she was a broadcaster, was kind of everywhere and could do kind of any job as well. And then when she got into the military, I'll tell you a quick story about my wedding in 2014. She was going through basic training. And instead of saying, sorry, I can't make it, we're exhausted, she drove all the way from Quebec, came to the wedding, and then turned around and had to go back. And that was just the type of person she was. And I know we've been hearing those stories on social media across the country.
Tim, how are you going to remember Captain Casey?
I think one of those smiles and one of her personalities. She is what the East Coast is so amazing about. The East Coast are the best people, not only in the country but in the world. And she was easygoing, she was happy, and she was adventurous, and she loved a new challenge. And I think that's what the Snowbirds meant to her. Whenever you look at those photos of her on the tarmac, in the plane, serving our country, it was done with a smile and I think a real sense of pride. And for her family and for her friends, I mean, there's hundreds of friends that she made through her time, and I know they're all remembering her for somebody that had a huge sense of pride in what she did and in the relationships that she fostered.
Hey, Tim, thanks again. We really appreciate you giving us these personal insights into this tragic loss and this wonderful person that's gone too soon. We're very sorry for your loss, and thanks for spending some time with us today.
Absolutely, and that's what Operation Inspiration has to be remembered for, and that this loss isn't in vain. So thank you for the time, for sharing great stories about Jennifer.
Thanks again, Tim.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.